talking to Mum? No. But then again, I was the one who had called. I was ashamed that something in me wanted to talk to her, and that by calling I showed her that something in me wanted to. Did I need something from her? What would that be? Forgiveness? Perhaps that's what she told herself. But I hadn't had a choice. But then why did I call? What did I want? I don't know. Mum and Ruth thought I called because I'd repented. They hoped I had repented and was hurting, that I missed them and wanted to make amends. But Mum didn't pick up the phone because it wasn't going to be so easy that the moment I was back in Norway and wanted to get in touch with them, they were ready to welcome me with open arms. Oh, no. I was to fully experience my choice and repent it. But I didn't repent. To them, it looked as if I had made a choice, and that irritated me. But irritation is easy to bear. Irritation is nothing compared to shame. Why this paralysing shame? Talking to Pax helped. We walked on the shale paths along the sea where the ducks and swans were swimming, and in the bend by Oslo, I picked a coltsfoot. I told myself it meant good luck. Once I got back, I put it in water in an egg cup, but it soon wilted. Now it's autumn, September 1st. My first Norwegian autumn in 30 years. I had been drinking when I called. Not a lot, a few glasses of wine, but I had been drinking or I wouldn't have called. I found her number on www.1881.no and entered it with trembling fingers. Had I thought rationally, I wouldn't have called. If prior to that, I had made myself think clearly, imagine the most likely scenarios should Mum answer her phone, I wouldn't have called. I would have understood it wouldn't lead to anything other than distress for both of us. It was an unrealistic, irrational phone call. Nor did she pick up. My mum and my sister were rational human beings. I was irrational. Was that why I felt shame? If I had been a rational human being, I would have realised that if Mum had answered her phone, it wouldn't have led to anything that could be called a conversation anyway. A conversation between Mum and me had become impossible. But that didn't curb my irrational impulse. I didn't want to think clearly. I wanted to follow this sudden and, for me, surprisingly strong impulse. What depths did it come from? That's what I'm trying to find out. I hadn't had anything that could be called a conversation with Mum for 30 years. Perhaps I never had. I met Mark, applied in secret to the institute in Utah where he taught, and was accepted. I travelled with him across the sea, away from my marriage, my family. It all happened during one hot summer. It's true, as they say, that one look is all it takes. One glance, and I burned with an inextinguishable flame. It was seen as betrayal and a slap in the face. I wrote them a long letter at the time to explain why I had done what I had done. I poured out my heart in that letter. But the short reply I received was as if I hadn't written to them in the first place. A short, blunt reply with threats of ostracism, but stating that if I came to my senses and returned home immediately, I might be forgiven. They wrote as if I were a child and they my guardians. They reeled off what it had cost them financially and emotionally to bring me up. I owed them quite a lot. They meant, I understood, that I was literally indebted to them. They seriously believed that I would give up my love and my work because they had paid for tennis lessons when I was a teenager. They didn't take me seriously. They didn't try to understand me. Instead, they made threats. Perhaps their own parents had had such power over them once. Perhaps they had themselves trembled so on encountering their parents' words, especially the written ones, that they thought their own would have just as strong an impact on me. I wrote another long letter explaining what the art course meant to me and who Mark was. Again, they replied as if I hadn't written, as if they hadn't read my letter. They reiterated how much money they had spent buying me a flat so I could live near the university while I studied.